Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the Halo Infinite review. As you can see, I already have Halo Infinite pulled up. I'm going to be going over the multiplayer first, then the single player. Single player is going to offer a lot of spoilers, so be warned about that, but we're going to be going over the multiplayer first. I will say when I'm switching over to single player, that way you all know, just so you also know, I am sick at the moment. So yeah. My voice is going to be a little different. Everything's going to be a little different. I might sneeze, might cough. I'm going to try to mute that, cut it out whenever I can of the video. But I really do hope you all enjoy. And without further ado, let's go and hop into it. All right. So firstly, what I want to bring up, by the way, I have my notes on my phone here. Can't really read it, but I'm going to be reading off of my phone. By the way, this is pages of notes. Pages. It's insane. Anyway. First, I want to talk about the multiplayer. The multiplayer is fun. Don't get me wrong. The multiplayer is so fun. I enjoy it. The gameplay's solid. I do feel like there are a few flaws. But, you know, for the most part, the gameplay is completely solid. You know, when it first launched, all it had was quick play, bot boot camp, big team battle, and the ranked arena. But since then, they have added in other playlists, which is good. That's always good. But, you know, we can't forget what it started out as, right? But I'm glad that they've changed that up a little bit, and they've made the changes that were necessary. One thing that I do want to say is, especially with the deadly sword grapple combo, the range of the gravity hammer, which, by the way, the gravity hammer is insane sometimes. I've seen it kill someone from a 90-degree angle. It's insane. But, I just want to say there needs to be a better, counter to melee. There needs to be a better counter to melee. It's just kind of insane to me that we don't have the old shotgun that we can use to counter this, right? I mean, they should feel like power weapons, and they do feel like power weapons. But there needs to be a counter. Everything has a counter. Even rocket launchers, those are a power weapon. Counter. Well, one, half the time it doesn't kill your target. Half the time it just doesn't. But two, repulsor. Repulsor's a good counter. I feel like there needs to be a counter, though. So, old shotgun, even the variant version of the campaign shotgun for the current Bulldog, which is what we have now, would be even better, right? But yeah, we need a better counter to it. And I just want to say that, like I said, I think the multiplayer is fun. It has solid gameplay, just absolutely solid gameplay. You know, it needs more. It feels like it's missing something. It really does. We need more guns, maybe? I don't know. We only have 10 maps, 4 for BTB, and then 6 of them are for Arena. Like, it's kind of crazy. And, you know, let's look at the game modes. We have Fiesta, Free-for-All, Slayer, Tactical Slayer, Team Slayer. That's it. We need more game modes, like Infected. Infected's fun, dude. Infected is so good. I think Infected's like the best game mode, by the way. Speaking of like guns and everything though, let's talk about some of the bad guns. You know, I said almost all the guns are good. Let's talk about the bad ones. Ravager. I think the Ravager could be good. Increase the 3 burst damage just by a little bit. I feel like if you increase the AoE, like the size of the pools it leaves to do the dot damage, that the Ravager would be so good in BTB. It'd be like the go-to weapon. Because so many people group up in BTB, it's insane. But I feel like that's a way to like change the Ravager to make it actually good. Until then, the gun's just really underwhelming, underpowered and everything. Next, I want to talk about the Pulse Carbine. If you do the noob combo with the pulse carbine switching into the sidekick, really good. But the gun itself really sucks. I feel like adding like one more shot to the burst would be beautiful, you know? As for the other guns, like the plasma pistol, I don't know what they can do to the plasma pistol to make it good, but that thing sucks anymore. It used to be like one of my go-to weapons in the game. Let me see if I can find it here. There it is. But they nerfed the tracking. It takes 22 shots, regular shots, not charged, 22 shots to kill. It takes 3 charged shots to kill if they connect. And the tracking on the plasma pistol has just been nerfed into the ground. It is awful. But, you know, those are my recommendations. Also, I feel like the commando could use some work. It just does too little of damage. I feel like a way you could rework that is make it like a truly middle ground weapon. You know, no glint on the scope whenever you aim down sights. It does a decent amount of damage. You know, just make it a true middle ground weapon. I do like it. I think it could use a buff though. That's my opinion on the commando. I think the commando's good, but it could be better. Let's see. The other thing I want to talk about the multiplayer, the grapple and the repulsor. That's the best thing 343 has ever added to Halo, by far. Anyone else has a different opinion, it's just factually incorrect, right? The repulsor and the grapple are the most fun thing in the game. Next, I want to talk about the accessibility of the game, which is so good. You got visual language, so your subtitles. You got audio language, which could be completely different, right? Linear navigation mode, so you can select it like this, all right? UI narration, so if you can't really see that well, it'll read it off to you. That's awesome. You can make it read fast. You can increase the volume, decrease the volume. If you're hard at seeing and the text is tiny, you can change text size. That is amazing. Text size, like for the hard of hearing, is awesome. Text scroll speed, if it's going too fast for you, like this is just for people who read slow. Going too fast for you, guess what? Slow that bitch down. You're good. Subtitles, you know, everyone likes subtitles. I do at least. Let's see, display all subtitles, size medium. Once again, you can add a background opacity so that if it's hard to see, you know, you can have like that black bar behind it so you can see it. Highlight speaker, so basically the name's going to be highlighted as well. You can change the enemy UI color. Say you're colorblind. You can change your enemy UI color from salmon to like, I don't know, lavender. Right? Or you can change your teammates from sky blue to mint green. But you know, these are just things you can do. The accessibility is pretty amazing. You can even change your fire team's color. Let's see, the reticle outline opacity, so you can see your reticle better. Thickness, like I said, you can see a better HUD opacity, so instead of seeing through your HUD, you can see it clearer. They have text-to-speech and speech-to-text. Once again, for the hard of hearing, maybe even the hard of seeing. So good. It's so good, right? Let's see, you can change the blur option, screen shake, exposure, full screen effects, sharpening. If you can think of it, you can probably change it in this game. It's insane, the accessibility. Say you have issues like, I have a friend, he only has 2 fingers on one hand. Say you have issues with the button mapping. Guess what? No need to worry about that. You can link 3 different buttons for one move. I want to move forward. I want it to be W, the up key, and 9. I can do that. Do I want that? No, I don't want that. But that's what it is now. But yeah, there's so much accessibility. The accessibility in this game is insane by far. one of the best parts about the game. Almost everyone can play it, so I do love that. It's pretty great. Now I want to talk about some more of the multiplayer issues. Okay, trying to give credit where credit's due. So we got Tony Soprano 300 in the r/Halo subreddit, showing off our desync problem. Desync has been an issue in this game since the beta. It wasn't really a beta, everything was fleshed out. There was no update upon official, but since the beta launch, right? So let's go ahead and watch this, and so we can see the issues that we have been having with the server. All right, so he gets out, he starts jumping, he gets back in, turns around. Okay, so the issue isn't too bad yet. Not yet. All right, now it's getting bad because he's in that door by now, and now he's stuck here. So the server is saying he's stuck here, but for him, he's all the way back over there. Yep, see? He's all the way on the other side of the map now. He just jumped off the map, and he's still over here for the server. He's in the water. He should be dead. This is his client side, so this is his computer. And, you know, the server's still like, oh, he's trapped up here in this almost impossible place. That shows that the desync is just absolutely terrible. Hopefully 343 does something about it, but this is a problem you cannot have, because that means you could be all the way across the map and servers picking you up here, other people's clients are going to pick you up here, you're going to die because everyone's picking you up here, but you're in the water somewhere. No one should be able to kill you, you should have already been dead. But you're going to die because someone's going to shoot you while you're here, and you're just in the water. Yeah, that's pretty crazy to me. The next one that I want to talk about, it's pretty big as well. There's a memory leak in Halo Infinite. So this guy has a really great computer. It's a 3080, a 12th gen i7 Intel Core processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, his computer's fully fucking decked out. He played Infinite for 10 minutes. He even upgraded to Windows 11 just for testing as well. And he just copied the message of oh, your game crashed, here's what the codes it through. So yeah, I'm not going to go into explaining all of this. I think that's boring. But needless to say, there's multiple events, and if you look here, that's a bit high for bytes. By the way, that number right there, that's a bit high for bytes. That's saying he consumed 14 gigabytes of virtual memory. Right? He only has 16 gigabytes of RAM, but this is virtual memory, right? So this is going off of that, right? That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. This is probably why, if you get lag spikes in the game, this is probably why. I have a feeling this is probably linked to the HD texture pack, because I uninstalled it, and my game's been buttery smooth, haven't had a crash since, but I did have this issue as well. So, I don't know, I uninstalled that though, and it's been good, but, you know, this is something we can't have either. You know, you could be into a play session, just random match, crashes, right? Like 4 hours in, it's like, why'd it crash? You have no reason, but since it's a very slow memory leak, there you go. Yeah. So there's that. Next up, I want to talk about, like, those are just some of the technical issues. But next up, I want to talk about the free-to-play game and the pros and cons of just free-to-play, and then, you know, how 343 implemented it. So, free-to-play is good, brings in a lot of new players, but it gives leeway for the company to sell content in the game that should have been in there anyway, and they justify it by saying, oh, it's free to play. Oh, it's just free to play, man. Come on. You can't afford $20. Come on, man. It's free to play. Well, here's the thing. I'm just saying this right now. Campaign's still $60. That's insane to me. We'll get to that at the end, but That's insane to me, because you know that they're making all the money they spent on the game just off the campaign, probably. And then they're still doing like I said, we'll get into that at the end. But as for now, we're going to talk about free-to-play. Like I said, draws in new players, but, you know, the cons is, you know, gives the developers leeway to do that. Let's start with, I kind of want to start with the Battle Pass, right? If you're free-to-play, you get 26 rewards for the Battle Pass. This is a 100-level Battle Pass. You get 26 rewards and 40 challenge swaps. Now, I'm going to point us back to the game now. I'm pointing us back to the game. If you look at the Battle Pass here, you mainly get challenge swaps, right? But you don't even get XP boosts. All the XP boosts are locked behind a paywall of buying the Battle Pass. Now, did I buy the Battle Pass? No. No, I don't like microtransactions. I'm not going to do any microtransactions, especially when these are the rewards. They're not too great. They are not too great. But, yeah. So, you only get a few rewards. A few rewards. And it's just not enough. It's not enough. I think free-to-play players should be given a little bit more. A little bit more. Instead of 26, make it like 40. Right? Because I guarantee you buy the Battle Pass, you're getting something almost every level. Almost every level. If not every level. Like an actual item, a pose, armor, something. Right? You get a little emblem for the vehicle right there. Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about is rarity. Rarity in the game. There's no point to this. There's absolutely no point to this. Because you buy the Battle Pass and you hit level 25, that's not a legendary reward. That's just a level 25 reward. You didn't earn that in a just astounding way. You just earned it by hitting level 25. Everyone who hit level 25 who bought the Battle Pass got this. Right? It's just insane to me why they even added a rarity thing to this. It's like, this is rare. It's a visor. That's a visor. How is that rare? Everyone who hit level 6 got this. Absolutely everyone who hit level 6 got that. This is epic. You just get this for level 1. One level. Everyone gets this epic reward. Makes no sense. Rarity is stupid for this game. I just think it's awful. Let me talk about the fillers of all of these challenge swaps. So, if you didn't know, when the game was first released, it was extremely predatory, with the challenges being very specific. And if you had play certain match challenges, you didn't have all these playlists, right? You didn't have these. You couldn't choose which match to play. You had to go into quick play and pray to God that you got the match that you wanted. So, if you were to get something to say play 3 Slayer, and it was even tested, you would go hours without one Slayer match. If you had 2 out of 3 Slayer matches, you would go hours. Because they want to artificially inflate that playtime, so they made it in a way where you would either want to just buy the challenge swap, pay the $2, swap that bitch out, or they just want you to continue playing the game. Or, I think it's called the sunken cost fallacy. Which, in a way, is like I feel like the sunken cost fallacy is, in a way, like an addiction, right? Okay, I've sunk this much money, why not put another 20 minutes in? I might get my Slayer match. And they're trying to capitalize on people with these addictive personalities, which is very vindictive of them, right? It's awful, and it just really isn't the best way to get people to play the game. You should want people to play the game because the game's fun, not because they have a disorder or they have sunken time fallacy. I don't know. I just said it. I forgot the name of it. You know what I mean. But it should be because it's fun, and not because of that. But yeah, like, I don't know. The battle pass, in my opinion, is just awful. Everything about it awful. If you bought it, I feel bad for you. Don't do it again unless it's improved by next season, which they have until May to do. So it might be. You never know. Let's see. What's my next point here? Oh yeah, the point to that was too much filler, which leads me to one of my next points. Yeah. So if you didn't know that this might shock you, the Halo Infinite Battle Pass was supposed to have 120 tiers. In fact, the achievement picture is a picture of it saying 120. And it was data mined as well that it was supposed to be 120, which led a lot of people to believe they stripped the Battle Pass to put in all these filler items, or in other words, these challenge swaps, in order to get people to purchase more armor, right? So it caused them to strip the Battle Pass, right? Because they probably were told by corporate they need to add microtransactions, but it also made them set wildly high prices for the things that should have been in the Battle Pass in the first place. Like this Anubis armor set, right? This is just an armor set, a paint coating, and a pose. This is $20, right? And unless I have, and for some of these, unless I have the Battle Pass, I can't even wear, not this one specifically. This one's Mark 7. Everyone can wear Mark 7. It's the default. But for some of them, unless I have the Battle Pass and have unlocked the Mark 5B armor set, or armor core, my apologies, then I can't even wear this. And you have daily bundles, which are $5. And they try to trick you, right? So it's like, okay, I get this weird attachment thing, a pink color, or a color, and shoulders, right? So they're trying to make you feel like this is worth more value because you're getting 2 shoulders. You know how stupid it would be if you only got 1 shoulder, right? And then you had to buy a different pack to get the other shoulder, right? But instead of just saying you get a shoulder bundle, which is how it should be, right? When you unlock the shoulders, you should just unlock the bundle, which they did this in the Battle Pass as well, as filler, right? They separated the shoulders to make it feel like you got more. But instead of just bundling it, they're like, oh, you get the left shoulder and you get the right shoulder, making it, that way you have to scroll more, and it makes you feel like you're getting more value out of it, when in all reality, you're just not. You're not getting any more value out of it. And I feel like that's very predatory as well. But yeah, another thing that I want to mention. Yeah, here's another example of that predatory. You get a charm, and you get this pink color, but it's only for the spanker, the sniper, and the assault rifle. It's only for 3. They want to make, since you're only unlocking it for 3 instead of unlocking it for everything, they're trying to make it feel like you're getting more value than what you actually are, which is 1 pink color for only 3 weapons. Get out of here. By the way, that's $10, by the way. $10 fucking dollars. I wouldn't spend that on that. And if you do, yikes. But, yeah. Another thing I want to talk about, time gating in events, right? So first of all, you have FOMO, right? Don't know what FOMO is? Fear of missing out. It's a very bad thing. It's to artificially increase playtime. One thing that is kind of FOMO, because a lot of people are going to, freak out once the end of season approaches. Seasons are very FOMO, and a lot of people won't know that Halo's going to keep, all battle passes. And they're trying to capitalize on that to make people panic buy the battle pass before it's gone, right? And, artificially increase playtime by making people feel like they can't unlock all of this anytime they want, when in all reality, you can, because they've even stated as much. Even better example, I would say, would be the Christmas challenge. Now, a lot of people are like, Christmas challenge, how is that FOMO? Well, let me go ahead and explain. It lasted 2 weeks, okay? I think it lasted from like the 22nd to the 4th or something. I don't know. 22nd of December to the 4th. So fear of missing out comes into play there, because if you don't log in anywhere in between there, you're not even going to get a chance. A lot of people are going on break then. They're going to be on vacation, so a lot of people couldn't even do that, right? But what makes it even worse is, instead of being able to unlock everything at once, so say you get a chance to do it, but you only get 1 day out of all those days, right? Which, it's Christmas, New Year's, that makes sense. You only get 1 day out of all those days. So say you only get that 1 day, you can't unlock all 10 of those days, all 10 of those days rewards in 1 day. It's time gated. You can only complete 1 level a day, and you have to complete the daily challenge. Now, granted, it's only 1 match, but it's stupid in my opinion, and in a lot of other people's opinions, because if I feel like I can sit there and just grind it out and get all 10 levels in 1 day because I'm going on vacation for the next 2 weeks and I won't be able to unlock anything else, I should be able to do that. World of Warcraft is doing that stuff as well, FOMO, and, time gating. They're doing a lot of time gating to artificially increase playtime, but then again, their subscription service. But, they do that as well, and you see the state of that game. It's gone downhill quite a bit. Activision Blizzard's in a lot of water, like deep water as well, right? So, I'm seeing the parallels between the two games very clearly. There's a lot of FOMO, there's starting to become more and more microtransactions, and they're vastly overpriced. And it's bad, right? It shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be a thing, but it is, unfortunately. That is FOMO on top of the microtransactions. It's awful. It's awful. The whole scheme, I don't like it. But that's more or less my opinions for like free to play. I don't think it's all that great. I feel like the multiplayer should have been included with the $60 bundle of the campaign, as it always has been, because, no offense, the campaign wasn't nothing to be like, oh my god, $60? Here, 10 hours of content, $60. Unless the DLC is free, it ain't worth it. Speaking of single player, we're going to go and switch over to that. I might start playing the game a little bit. That way you all have more to look at than just, battle pass screens and microtransactions. But I might start playing the game a little bit. So, go and remove this. There's an issue here too. And that's being corrupted save files. Oh, before I move on, with the multiplayer, Big Team Battle hasn't been able to be played since the launch of a campaign. I don't know what happened there, but it hasn't been able to. Now, they say that there's going to be a rework of that, or not a rework, but a fix for that Wednesday, hopefully. We'll see. We'll find out. Also, they said tomorrow, which will be today, since this is when the video is going to be uploaded. Today, there's going to be microtransaction changes, and that they'll continue, looking into it. The reason prices are so high is you get your most sales within the first month of the game release. That's why it was there. They wanted to be predatory as quickly as possible so they could make the most money as possible. And for the argument Sketch made, because he did tweet this out, or it was a Reddit post or something, I don't remember. I don't care enough to remember. But You know, he said it costs money to run servers. Microsoft's a $1.6 trillion company, and they run off the Microsoft servers. So, interestingly enough, I don't think it's a money issue. I think it's just a company issue. They're dicks. Anyway, moving on. So, single player, I'll tell you whenever we get to the spoilers part, but right now we're doing the save file not loading, corrupted save file thing. This has been an issue since the launch of the game. There's been no fix. In fact, I think there was a post about someone emailing some devs, and they even said that they didn't know how to fix it. They just don't know how. Which, you know, it's kind of fucked up. But here's one example of a ticket. Opened a ticket for this yesterday. Only response was, make sure you complete the first mission. And he's beaten the first boss 5 times, which is part of the second mission. Just so you know, part of the second mission. So I bet he's beat the first mission. They don't know how to fix it, so they're just kind of throwing stuff out. And, you know, since they don't know how to fix it, they'll just quit communication. I guess that's one way. But, yeah. Seems to be a big issue. It's affecting quite a bit of people. And, you know, as time goes on, it seems like these issues just keep getting worse. Let's see. As for the campaign, though, the gameplay's fun. It's a lot of fun, I'd have to say. I'd have to say as well, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Every weapon is pretty viable. Every weapon's pretty viable. You know, I don't feel like I have to choose between weapons, because, you know, they're all good. They're all pretty good. But, you know, the sword takes multiple hits to kill one enemy. Every weapon's viable. The sword feels weak. And missile launchers, rocket spanker, the spanker feels weak as well. You can hit someone dead up with the spanker, they'll just look at you like, what the fuck did you do? You knocked down my shields? Fuck you. And then they'll do, you know, nothing. You know, it's pretty stupid. There's also no co-op, which is awful. Also, where's the repulsor? One of the best things 343 has added to the game, and there's no repulsor in the story. Sorry, that's a little bit of a spoiler, I guess. But there's no repulsor. It's stupid. We're going to get into a little bit of spoilers. I'll tell you when it gets really spoiler, because I do go over each mission of the campaign. But a little bit of spoilers. Unlockable variants. The Valor system is unnecessary, and it's boring. That's my opinion. It feels unnecessary. It feels boring. I don't want to do it. To unlock weapons, it feels like these should just already be unlocked. I don't know, it just feels unnecessary and stupid. Fobs felt boring and repetitive as well. The only fob that felt any type of unique was Fob D, Fob Delta. And that was because, this is a spoiler, once again, spoiler. When you walk up to it, it's like, oh, there's no one here, go activate it. You walk up, you go to activate, guess what? You can't activate it because there are some people there. There's elites there. Right? There's some elites chilling there, but they're camouflaged. They whip out their swords, their guns, and then, you know, you have to handle business.
Got it. Vehicle delivery's on the way.
Then you gotta handle business. But yeah, that's just my opinion on the fobs as well. I don't think they're that creative. I feel like a lot of the game just missed a lot of creativity. There were a lot of moments where I was like, just why? Where's the creativity? Where's the production value here? You know, this is the most expensive game in history, and yet we're just playing Far Cry. I don't like that. I feel like that was stupid, and it made me not want to play the game. So yeah, it was that, and then, you know, yeah, well, we'll go over Squad Rescue next. Once again, there was no variety in Squad Rescue. There were 2 types. All right, well, I guess there were 2 ways you could do it, right? Or, you know, 2 different ones, right? But it felt like there was a lack of variety for like 15 of them or more. So the variety was you either free captive people and then you fight off the banished, or you fight off the banished with your people who aren't captive. They're fighting alongside you. There really wasn't any creativity there, and there was no other reason to do it other than it being filler. The whole Valor system was just filler to make you play more, to want to unlock things like, say, the Wasp. It's one of the last things you unlock in the Valor system. Let me show you. Yeah, so the Valor system, one of the last things you unlock is the Wasp. It's right here. You unlock it at like 2,600. It's stupid. I don't like it. I think it was very boring. It wasn't entertaining. There was no entertainment value there. I didn't want to do it. I did do it because, you know, that's what I do. But grinding is not fun. Endless grinding, not fun. This was not fun. I wish there was something more to it, but this is just what it was. So yeah, there's that. That's my opinion on squads. Then you have the side missions. Every side mission was the same. Go here, either destroy a silo, or destroy this and punch this. There was no creativity in those side missions. They were all, hey, look at this base, go here, destroy this, and yeah, that's it. That was it. And I don't see how that's it. Speaking, there's so many things you could have done. Hey, go rescue this fob. You unlock a fob, as well as it being a side mission. That could have been cool. There's no NPC, like, named characters that give you these missions. You just randomly go out in the world, and you get this, and you see it when you destroy a fob and take it over, or you see it whenever you you see it whenever you run up on it. It makes very little sense that they couldn't have done anything more with it. You know, and, you know, that leads me to another point. There's only 2 named NPCs that you interact with that are friendly. 2. Echo 216, right? And then you have the weapon. Those are your 2 friendlies that you interact with the entire game. That's it. You know, they could have made a timed rescue mission or something as well. Like, that would have been fun. You know, or just give us some named NPCs as well that give us these missions so we can feel a little bit more attached to the world instead of, you know, it just being, here you go, here's a side mission, you should go do that. Like, I don't know, it seemed very lackluster, and I felt no connection to the world based off of any of these missions. Like, zero connection whatsoever. Let's see. The high value targets, HVTs, basically bounties, they felt good. They felt good. You got rewarded for them, which is more than you can say for the side missions, the squad rescues, and the FOBs. You got rewarded for them, and it's just a bounty, so it's exactly what you expect. There wasn't too much uniqueness inside of it, yeah, so they each had their, they were each using the variant weapon. Right, every high value target or bounty was using the variant weapon that they were protecting. Which was, you know, in and of itself pretty cool. Not often you see that. But yeah. HVTs were probably the best side thing that you could do. Everything else sucked, and it was boring and it was filler.
You got it.
Okay, next I want to talk about the story. So, playing the story, I felt like it was really good, but by the end of the story, I felt like it was flawed quite a lot. and they couldn't really tell what direction they really wanted to go in. I do think it was decent, but it wasn't great. But yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, the first thing we see is this battle that we're witnessing right here. By the way, this is spoiler time. Last warning. The first thing we see is this battle right here. Chief's getting his ass beat by Atriox. Alright. And, you know, that's not something we expect to see, right? You know, we get to a part right here. Atriox looks him dead in the eyes. Exploding ship. Throws him off the ship. The ship's still exploding. Atriox is clearly still on that exploding ship. Right. And, you know, it's good to remember this. This is a very important and critical part. You know, I feel like it started off strong, mainly in the cutscene. The cutscene was beautiful. But the first mission's awesome. I love the first mission. If it'll load. So I feel like this escape right here between the first and second mission was really, really fun. It was really cool. It was really true to Halo, I thought. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just a fun experience. You know, we witness a lot of the enemy types. Actually, I think we witness every one of them, but the what they called skirmishers, the little forerunner flying creatures. Yeah, we witness all the enemies, but that, you know, which is all right. It's all right. I think this mission was very true to its purpose. You know, it felt very Halo. It was fun. It was interactive. It really made me feel. I feel like the second mission was the exact same way, right? And you get to Operational Base Tremonius. That one, it was alright. But this is what I really noticed, especially right around when the door opens to Operational Base Tremonius, right here, that the game is not very well optimized for PC. Was it awesome? Yeah, it was a cool intro. But right about here, I noticed the frames start dropping like crazy once you enter the open world. Like, you can even see it. It's pretty crazy how much the frames drop. But it was a good mission. I think this one was also very true to Halo. It was fun. It was good. And you know what? Even throughout the optimization, I still think this was one of the better missions. You know, next up we have the tower. We've already gone over FOBs and side missions. We're not going back over that. But next up we have the tower. The tower was one of the best missions, if you ask me. Like, I thought it was super cool. You go in, you find a dead-ass Spartan. You learn a little bit of lore. Or not dead, but you find the armor of a Spartan. And you find a piece of equipment the Spartan was using, a specialized piece of equipment. The threat sensor. Luckily, it said it right there because I forgot it was called. I was going to call it a scanner. But you find the threat sensor, and that's really cool. The whole time, you know you're about to fight this elite in here who tortures people. You know, this moment right here felt really badass, right? You find your Spartan buddy, but he's all, you know, tied up and shit. You can't really do anything about it just yet, because you know as soon as you enter that door, you're going to be finding someone, probably a boss, because that looks like a boss room. Makes sense. Also, there's a guy who's like, come into my tower. You're at, you know, the top level of the tower, obviously. But, you know, Mr. Halo here, you know, he's infiltrated the tower. He slaughtered his way up, which is cool. I like that. You know, you fight your way up the tower. Mr. Halo just wrecks everyone, right? And then you see your Spartan buddy, and you're like, I gotta rescue him. And that's cool. That's cool. I feel like that's pretty cool. That's a unique twist. It's good for Halo. You know, no Spartan left behind, no man left behind, more or less, right? This right here is one of the best things. I love the intro to this boss. It is so badass. But this boss, I felt like I really had a need to use the threat sensor. Was it absolutely necessary? No. But I felt like there was a need there. And it was a good need, right? This is the first and last time we'll ever feel that need to actually use the new equipment we get, which is unfortunate. I do think it was, cool that they made it feel like you needed to use it. But, this is the first and last boss that they do that. So, like I said, I love that boss, though. There you go. Using the threat sensor, picking up the fusion coil. Fusion coils are the best part of the game, by the way. By far. Next up, we had the excavation site, which this is where my issue starts to become apparent. Like, you go to this excavation site, right? And you don't have any true, options to enter it. Because I entered in with a squad filled up, ready to just wreck house. And when I got there in my Razorback, they all teleport away. Bye-bye. They're gone. They're not there when I load back up. They're just gone. You have this banished mining laser, which Forerunner technology apparently was undestroyable until this giant laser. I don't know, dude. That just doesn't make too much sense to me, but it is what it is. So Mr. Halo, once again out here, destroying faces, getting his way up to the excavation thing, which is cool. In the rest of the missions, it's alright. You have to go here, destroy these, so you can unlock the terminal, which is fine. I'm okay with that. That was pretty good. When I started to have an issue was right about here. Yeah. So when I started having an issue was right about here. Let me pause this and unmute it. Who are you? How do you, a Spartan, who's been trained your entire life to be a combat veteran and to be able to defeat anything, not hear this giant, probably 300 to 400 pound brute with this heavy ass armor plus this giant hammer that he's dragging on the... How do you not hear that? How does that sneak up on Mr. Halo? Alright? A person who in Halo 3 could detect... Look, right there, he just saw it. Could detect the Arbiter, right? He just saw the Arbiter, I just showed you. Gets prepared and then moves in to protect his friends. Right? A man who can see someone who's invisible and silent couldn't hear a heavy-ass brute wearing armor and dragging a giant hammer. Like, excuse me? This is my biggest issue. And also, this is when you learn. I feel like this is the fight that you learn. All bosses are the same. They have high shields, high health. Not too high of health, but high shields and high health. And they move fast. They all do this. This is their only unique property that makes them bosses. Nothing else. They have no unique mechanics. All the brutes are either jetpack boys or they're hammer boys, right? Like, there's two unique bosses, I feel, in the entire game. Two. Everyone else is just, this. Everyone else is this. Next up, we have the conservatory mission right here. I thought this mission was good. Although, this is our first look at real Forerunner stuff besides the second mission. And this is where I feel like we should get used to seeing Forerunner stuff. Because I feel like almost every room of Forerunner was copy and pasted. Like, there was too much of the same. No real uniqueness among them. It just felt like the same old shit every time. But yeah. This is also when we're introduced to the skimmer. That's the name of it. I have my notes right here. That's how I know. which, in my opinion, is the lesser version of drones. If you remember drones, they were from Halo 4. They were those bug creatures that pew pew pewed, flew around everywhere. They don't fly as much. They use shock weapons and aren't that good of an enemy. I don't know how to put it. They're bad enemy. They're a bad enemy. Just not good. Not good. But it's at the end of this mission that we meet our newest member of the Banished. Our newest member. The Harbinger. That's right. So we learn nothing about this character throughout the entire game. Besides the fact that this character right here is an endless. That's all we know. That's the only information we're ever given. She's an endless. I'm assuming it's a she. I don't care. It's 2022. I'm going to assume shit if I want to. But I assume it's a she. She's an endless. That's cool. That's all we get. She's a member of the Banished and she's an endless. So that's all we get. The next mission. Next mission is pretty good as well, I think. I have one real complaint about this mission. So this mission we get introduced to hunters for the first time. If you look here, there's your hunters. They changed them up to where hunters rapid fire now, which I don't know. That's mediocre at best, I think, but you know, it is what it is. By the way, I got a ghost in there. I'm a pro, I know. But yeah. So hunters now rapid fire, you know. So I guess you aren't introduced to every enemy in the game. And the first, you have like two different ones, hunters and skimmers that you're not introduced to. But, you know, you don't see hunters around all that often. I think you see them like 3 or 4 times throughout the entire game. Which is alright. They're a good boss fight, like mini boss fight whenever you do see them. They're fun. They're fun. I think the hunters in this game are really fun. Now, when you get to the ending here, the ending of this mission, right about here, I think, is when it gets interesting because you have Mr. Halo here, Master Chief Mr. Halo, who now has the weapon trying to shut down the Spire. And as you can see, this is the important part here. The adjunction, I don't know his name. 343 guy, the 343 guy right here, decides to attack Mr. Halo. Now, I don't know if you all remember Halo 3, but I certainly do. Whenever 343 Guilty Spark decided to attack Mr. Halo, look at this. He got knocked on his ass. Now, I don't know about you all, but I feel like that's a very big flaw here. Like, he can do that now, right? That's just how it is. No explanation to this either. He's just able to deflect stuff that previously weren't able to be deflected. The more and more I pay attention to it, the more and more Forerunners just feel like a joke, you know? But, yeah. That's my only issue. I do think this is one of the most unique bosses in the game. He's a very fun boss. He's not a very hard boss, but he is a very fun one. He has 4 guns, which you have to take out, and then you take out his central eye right there. Very fun boss. Very good boss fight. I really like that boss fight. I think that's the best boss fight in the... Yeah, I think it's the best boss fight in the game. Now, you do that boss fight a total of 2 times, which, you know, I think the first time is the best. Second time, oh no, I don't like fighting the same boss 2 times. It's just boring. Which is why I didn't really like the boss fights in this game, because it felt like every boss was the same boss. Every elite felt the same, every brute felt the same. That's just my opinion. But yeah, that was the Spire. Now we're going to watch Pelican Down. So once we shut down this the Spire, we have to make a quick escape. A very quick escape, in which our Pelican gets shot down. Now we have to go and take down the aircraft carriers, or not the aircraft, but the anti-air guns, in order to get our Pelican back up and able to fly around without getting shot down. I thought this mission was honestly one of the best missions in the game. It made utility of the open world, even though it didn't need an open world. It made a little bit more utility of it. And I don't know. I felt like this was a very close mission. Like no target was too far away from the other. I didn't feel like I had to run everywhere to do anything. I just really felt like this was a well put together mission. I thought this mission was one of the best missions in the game. I really loved this one. It was fun. Other than that, not too much to say. I like this part where Echo 216 finally has a breakdown and he admits that he has survivor's guilt, and then Mr. Chief is over here like, he's like, we all fail. We all struggle. We all do this. Like right here. Here, I'll turn on the volume. It's one of my favorite parts.
You should leave me here with the rest of the carpets.
We all fail. We all make mistakes. It's what makes us human.
I'm sorry, Chief, but how have you ever failed?
I love that part. I think that's really good. It makes Chief feel a lot more human without making me feel like it's a forced way to change his character. This makes sense to his character. I think this was a very well planned out cinematic, very good cinematic. I really like this one. I really do. I think the story, most of the story was good. And, this was one of the best parts of the story. Probably one of my favorite cinematics of the game, if not my favorite. I really do like that. Now, let's go on to the sequence. The sequence was, it was an annoying mission. Unlike the AA guns, it was the exact same, except you had to go further distance. And you had to go to 4 different ones, rather than to just 3. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you only had to go to 3 AA guns. You had to go to 4 spires in this mission, which was very annoying and not very entertaining, speaking we just did that, right? We had just done this. There was no reason for them to put the exact same mission, just a little different with us going to spires instead of AA guns. I don't like that. I don't think it was a very good play. This mission was very forgettable. Nothing was really notable about the mission, and I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was stupid that they would even put the same mission back to back, just reskinned. Yeah, that's my opinion there. Next up, we have the Nexus. It was a pretty good mission until the end, in my opinion. There was lots of great build-up, tons of nostalgia. You had visions of Cortana. You had Captain Key's dialogue going through your ears. And the progression seemed true to the Halo missions, Go here, grab this, bring it back here, and then, you just go from there. I felt like that was really good progression. Here, I'll show you the example that I have. I think right here, where you just go through, you grab your, yeah, I guess not. Whatever. I don't really need an example, I just kind of like it. Like having them. But yeah, you grab 3 of these, you put them in these, so those are power cores. You put them into their slots, respective slots, and then, from there you move on, right? So you have Keys there, you have Cortana. It's great. I really think that was a great nostalgia trip. It was good. But this is also when I realized this entire game just feels like a therapy session for Mr. Halo. I don't know how to feel. It was a giant therapy session. But one of the funniest parts, and I actually they could have done this a lot better in the end. But there's a part in here, right about here, where he's a savage. I mean, Chief is savage. He just sit there, Chief freaking out just a little bit at this rate. Like that's not nothing too extreme. He's seen some worse stuff. He immediately goes to the delete phase. He's like, hell no, we ain't doing this. We ain't doing this today. And he tries to delete her. Well, one, I don't see why she wasn't deleted, why she removed her deletion protocol. Speaking, the first line she says, "Where have you been? It's been 6 months. I was supposed to be deleted whenever you got Cortana deleted." It's like, why would you delete your deletion protocol then? 0 cents, you know? That makes very little sense to me, you know, and, I don't know. I felt kind of bad for the weapon, but at the same time, I kind of laughed. This was... It was alright. It didn't really serve a purpose, I don't feel. She got angry for one mission. Not even a long mission. She just got angry for a mission. She was like, "I'm pissed at you, Chief. Pissed." One mission. And she's like, "Oh, I love you, Chief. I love you, man." I do like how sassy she gets. She gets really sassy, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So next we have the command spire. So for this mission, nothing's really notable about it until we go and we fight Guilty Spark number 2 for a second time. That's right. We fight him 2 times. Like I said, they reuse the same boss multiple times except for one, and that's the Harbinger. Spoiler alert, once again, this whole thing's a spoiler. But yeah, you fight every boss 2 times, more or less, except for the Harbinger. Like, they couldn't think of another robot, so they just had you fight this guy twice. At least for the elites, they could think of, 2 elites, 2 brutes. They could think of 2 of each of those, but for these guys, they're like, nah. No, you know what? We're good. We're good. We'll just make them fight the same guy twice. Like, what? Why? But, after the second fight, he gained new abilities. He can take down walls now. That's pretty crazy. And he can call ads. So this boss fight did change very, very tiny bit. Very tiny bit. Yeah. Yeah. But, I also have an issue with this exact same mission. And, it's learning that 343 forgot how to program explosions. Instead of programming explosions, what they did was they threw flashbangs at you even if you're behind a wall. They wanted to try to burn your retinas to make the bosses harder, make the fights a little harder. I guess that's what it is. If not, then they're just, stupid. I don't know how else to put that. That's pretty stupid. The old explosions were perfectly fine. They're already programmed in. All they had to do was add modern graphics. Instead, they decided to blind you. I don't know what their thought process was here. It's just, that's what they did. That's just what they did. Oh, by the way, this is also the mission where she forgives us, right? So she's about to leave us, and then all of a sudden, my guy gets kidnapped. And, it's like, all right, well, I'm not leaving now. We're besties again. I completely forgot that you were about to delete me. But yeah, he gets kidnapped. Or adult napped? I don't know. What would it be? Would it be adult napped? He's not a kid. Definitely not a kid. Look at that beard. That's not a kid. But, it's whatever. This repository's a pretty forgettable mission. Besides the fact that we learn 2 important things about the lore and then 1 cop-out. So, the 2 things that we learn about the lore is Mr. Halo and his purple girlfriend. Right? Cortana, his purple girlfriend. Well, they had a rough falling out. And it shows here that she attacked Earth. That's explained here, that she attacked Earth. And then it's explained right here that she destroyed Atriox's, the Brute's home planet. And that's why they're all pissed off, right? At Cortana. But, yeah, other than that, it's pretty forgettable. We also learn due to this, which is mainly something that was added in 343's games. I never saw Cortana really snap in any of the original Halos. That the weapon is Cortana 2. See, they didn't know how to save Cortana 1, and so they just, they copped out, and they were like, oh, well, we can't make a decent storyline around that, so we just need to start fresh. Cortana 2. Makes no sense, but it is what it is. Let's see, the road. Alright, so we have the road and the House of Reckoning here. The road was really good, although it felt like the ending mission of every other Halo, where you have to, rush to escape, right? You're rushing to escape. I felt like I was rushing to get to the end, to find out, the big bad ending. That's not what happened. We had a couple more missions after this. But, the mission felt true and good. It just felt like the ending, right? Because that's normally what we have. We have an escape ending where, we're rushing somewhere to, like, get to the spaceship or, wherever. This just felt like an ending, right? But it was good. This was a good mission. I do like this. I felt like this mission was very true to Halo, and it was good. It was a good mission. Very good mission. And then we had the House of Reckoning, which had us go through 2 sets of training, which felt like a tutorial. Alright. So, it felt like it should have been a tutorial for the game, because you fight 2 floors. You have basic training, advanced training, right? That's it. That's all you got, right? Right here's advanced training. You just fight 2 hunters alongside all the ads. That's the only difference. Oh, and there's 2 different types of hunters now. You have red hunters and green hunters. I guess red hunters are better than green hunters. I'm not actually positive on that one. But, that's kind of what I'm gathering here. But, yeah, it just, I don't know. It didn't feel that all that great. And, once you get towards the end, you fight the big bad Spartan killer. The one that the game leads you to believe is going to be the hardest guy in the game. Right? I forget his name. I don't really care enough. I know it was like Jaga something, but... Alright. But the big bad Spartan killer, Jaga Redidabulama. Right? He's led to believe he's a big bad, he's crazy good. And then you get in a fight with him, and, how you end him's kind of funny. Or at least how I did. Hold up. I want to pull it up. It's kind of funny. Alright. So my man's just over here. Like, he's the exact same as the previous elite in the tower. He's the exact same. There's no difference besides he has 2 swords and a little different animation. Then he just kind of falls over dead. That's just what he does. He falls over. Goodbye, my son. He bows out. That's literally what happened. That's literally what happened. He just bowed out of my game. But, he's this big built-up character in the trailers, and, he dies like a bitch. I don't know how to put it any better way. He just dies like a bitch. Which is, it is what it is. So immediately after this boss fight, guess what you get? Another boss fight. This one was only unique in the fact that he carried a scrap cannon in the beginning, but then you have to go around and you have to take down the shield that he gets that redirects all damage done to him to Echo 216, which makes very little sense, in my opinion, and is just, it's bad. This is overused, You kill 4 things, take down the boss's shield, and then you kill the boss. It's way overused. It didn't feel unique nor memorable. And, this is supposed to be the big bad, but in all honesty, Eshram the entire time just felt like a sidekick. I know I died right there. But, in all honesty, He felt like a sidekick to Atriox, and Atriox doesn't even appear in the game, which is crazy. Well, doesn't appear as an NPC in the game. He appears in a couple of cinematics. That's it. That's it. And it's kind of crazy to me. But you know, that is what it is. He felt like a side, like kind of a side guy. He didn't feel like a main, boss guy. It is what it is. Oh, and then he goes to his cliche hammer brute boy thing, which is shown after you beat the final one of those shields. He becomes a hammer boy like every other brute. By the way, one missile did not destroy that. That was so stupid. That just made me feel like a fool. Yeah, see, you'll see it here. See, now he whipped out a hammer. He's just charging. He has this giant lunge he can do. He just did it. I wasn't looking, but he did do it. They're all the same. Nothing unique. But yeah, nothing about this fight made logical sense, nor was memorable. Even the boss itself wasn't memorable. He felt like a side character, even though he was the main villain. Main antagonist. I don't know how else to put it. But, the last mission, Silent Auditorium, this one was good. Like, it was good and it was bad. So I have one giant issue here. You know how I told you to remember in the beginning that Master Chief was floating outside while Atriox was, being that guy, dying inside of the ship. Well, I just want you to watch this. There's Cortana. There was Atriox. He's showing Cortana Master Chief. Now, what does this say? This shows that Atriox is still alive. How does this show Atriox is still alive? How would we be out floating in space while Atriox is there, talking to Cortana? How would we do that? How in the world would we do that? Apparently, we've been in space for like 6 months. Just saying. Or at least that's what I'm told. They'd never make that too transparent. But that just shows Atriox is still alive right there, which ruins their ending, which is, I think it's supposed to be a surprise ending, but it's not because they ruin it themselves right here. But anyway, this is like one of my biggest gripes right here. They spoiled their own ending. It's stupid. I dislike it. So next up, we have the final boss, which is the Harbinger. The Harbinger's a really good boss fight in my opinion. I really like the Harbinger. I think the Harbinger was well thought out. She's one of the most unique bosses. She's not used twice. And she sits there and teleports, which is the coolest part about her. That's the absolute coolest part about her. So yeah. Let's see if I can get some actual gameplay of, the Harbinger. Yep, there's me whooping her ass. Bam, melee. So she has 4 phases. Each one of them just beater, adds, beater, adds, beater, adds. Once again, it's the whole 4-phase thing. Shield. That's not too unique, but she felt unique as a boss. We get to see what an Endless looks like without the helmet. That's cool. We're still not given any answers to the game at all whatsoever, which is one of the most annoying parts. We see Cortana. Cortana's actually dead. I thought she was still secretly alive the entire game, but we learned she's actually dead. And oh, she's so apologetic now, and it is confirmed to be like a romance now instead of a partnership. I don't know. I felt like in, the first 3 Halos, it was a partnership, and then it became a romance and all that. But it's whatever, Yeah. The only notable thing in this entire mission is the Harbinger fight, but it wasn't all that great, and the Harbinger itself is not a memorable character. Speaking, the Harbinger gets 5 minutes of screen time, I think, in the entire game. Sorry for hitting my mic, but she gets like 5 minutes of screen time in the entire game, and it's kind of pathetic. It is what it is, though, I guess. But, it's whatever. She's just a member of the Banished at this rate that we just took down really quickly. So we lose 3 days in this cinematic. When we walk through that portal, we get thrown. We lose 3 days somehow. And, so... yeah. This is something that I don't like. And I would pull up mine, but I actually want to look up the legendary ending cinematic. So normally I just watch my own legendary ending cinematic, but I feel like it's good to note this one. Speaking, you go back to 97,368 BCE. So now they're introducing time travel into Halo. That's not good. This is supposed to be a military shooter. Why is there time travel? What happened here? Time travel ruins almost every game it enters. I'm just saying. Warlords of Draenor and World of Warcraft, which I have referenced, this would be the second time in this entire review. It just didn't make too much sense to most people, and it was just bad lore-wise. This is bad lore. Time travel is never really good. I hate it when games do this. Most people agree with me. I think it's awful. But yeah, one of my major complaints about the game, but this is literally all I wanted to show here, but one of my major complaints about the game, nothing is answered in the entire game. It's just question upon question upon question upon question upon question. Nothing ever gets answered. We don't know what happened to the Infinity. We don't know how Atriox escaped. We do know he did escape. We find that out in the final mission before the final cutscene. So we know that happened. We know that Cortana died. We don't know how Cortana actually died. We just know she is dead, supposedly. Don't know. It's just what it is. But, yeah, I feel like nothing was answered in this game. It was a mess. And, yeah. Also, at the end of the game, like the complete end of the game, let me go back. So, at the complete end of the game, this is really annoying to me. We get Cortana 2 in the ship, and she's like, "Can I name myself?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, dog." And she's like, "Are you sure about that? What about me? Is that okay? Can I do that, Chief?" We don't even know her name. Like, this whole mystery thing isn't fun. It's not cool. It's not exciting. I dislike it. I think it's boring, bland, and uncreative. In all honesty. I really do. I think this is just awful. It's bad storytelling. They should have done better. But it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, and for a soft reboot, which is what they consider this, they should explain a lot more about the lore of Chief. You shouldn't have to go out and collect collectibles that explain practically nothing as well. You know, there's like 7 collectibles out there that just explains how a guy got on a ship. Why would we care about that? We want some actual lore, not lore about a guy getting on a ship. That's stupid. You know, and any good storytelling would make you, know a lot of this without having to go to outside references, other games, books, anything. Like, come on. Because I feel like there are a few things where if I read a book or played Halo Wars 2, I know more. We know nothing about the Banished if you just jump into Infinite. You know nothing about them. You just know that they're the enemy. That's it. Where if you go to Halo 2, or not Halo 2, but Halo Wars 2, you'll learn everything you need to know about the Infinite? About the Banished, pretty much. You'd also learn the outcome of the Infinity and all that good stuff. And, time travel, like I said, not good for any game. And, to kind of, like, wrap it up, collectibles are for story mode, collectibles are pointless. The missions themselves were good. Most of them were. Some of them were just forgettable. Most of them were forgettable, to be honest. That's just my opinion, though. And for Endnotes, I did enjoy the game. I think the game was a great game, but it's lacking a lot of content. Like, for the multiplayer, it's lacking an element of fun. It feels like the fun element's just not there. And for the single player, it's lacking depth. I feel like it's lacking a lot of depth. The lore's not there. I feel the gameplay in both of them are really good, but just good gameplay doesn't equate you to getting by that far. There's a lot of plot holes in the game, I feel. But you know, it is what it is. It really is. So yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I did enjoy the game, but like I want to put this in like a metaphor. So like, say you have a house with a sturdy foundation. That's your gameplay. But you have walls. These walls are flimsy as hell. One good gust of wind, these walls come crumbling down, and that's more or less what we're seeing. The Steam player numbers have dropped significantly, and I mean significantly. I know not everyone plays on Steam, but you know, that just goes to show not everyone's very into this new Halo. Even though it is free to play, they're losing a lot of players because it feels like a half-baked game, but it's the best half-baked game that we got this year, which is why it's the most popular. I feel like the game is good, but I'm sick and tired. This isn't just for Halo of half-baked games. It's awful. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm gonna go and give these games a score of like X out of 10. I think for the multiplayer, it's a 5 out of 10. It's more set up around a competitive shooter and less set up around fun, and that's what Halo was. There's no social aspect. Your mic is default turned off when it should be turned on, and you should have to opt out of listening to other people. There's no social aspect to the game. Words like ball are blocked in chat. So if you're playing oddball, you can't say ball, right? The filters are insane, and it's a mess. It's really a mess. There's no social aspect, and I don't know how else to put it. It's a 5 out of 10. The multiplayer is easily a 5 out of 10. It needs a lot of work, like a lot of work. Like I said, BTB hasn't been able to be played in a month and a half. It's insane. Let's see. The single player, I give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a very good game. Not a very good, it's a good game. But there's a lot of disappointment in it. And there's no real explanation. And I feel like the lore should be able to be gathered completely from playing the campaign. It's just not there. It's really not there. And it upsets me. So, yeah. I'm giving the campaign a 7 out of 10. And I just want to end this on this note. You can get 6 games for $40 with everything included being the MCC. Or you can get a half-baked story mode with a free-to-play multiplayer riddled with microtransactions. Story mode being $60, but the multiplayer's free. But you can't look any specific way unless you pay money, so I just want to put that out. If you haven't, I'd suggest just, you know, paying $1 for Game Pass, even if you have to make a new account, and then just doing it like that. Right? If you want to play the game, but I do not suggest buying the game at full retail price. It's not worth it. And you'll just be disappointed, I think, for the price. I beat the entire game in 15 hours. Mostly, almost 100%. I think I'm like 80 some odd percent of the way through. So yeah, I'm disappointed in that. I feel like it could have been better. But overall, the game, one 7 out of 10, one 5 out of 10. We smushed that together. The overall score I give the game, 6 out of 10. That's just what it is. I like the game, but I didn't like it enough. They have good gameplay, and that's about it. You know, a lot of people defend the story saying that they were making multiple stories all at once. And that's cool and all, but that seems like a management issue, and it shouldn't be a player head issue. That's a management issue. And that they're trying to make it a player head issue, and it is what it is. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Have a great day, night, evening. I'm sick. I'm going to go rest my voice.